It can be said that after the announcement of this news, for me, wengui, grief and indignation, this thing is very sad. I believe you can understand my feelings. Mr. Ma Jian was sentenced to life imprisonment, which was unexpected to me, but had been expected by Mr. Ma Jian. Fortunately, Mr. Ma Jian is now life sentenced. However, they did not kill Mr. Ma Jian secretly.
现在是无期徒刑，他们并没有像马健先生躲猫猫死、打飞机死。
This is from the beginning of 2015 to the end of 2018 today. Mr. Ma Jian spent nearly 4 years in prison. He was physically and mentally tortured. And I'm sad to see Mr. Ma Jian's photo. Today, I'm wearing a red tie. The reason for me to wear a red tie is to let Mr. Ma Jian know that this is a good day. The reason is very simple. Mr. Ma Jian is still alive. And as I see in the past, few senior officials of the so-called Communist Party in the trials, like Minister Ma Jian, did not lose the dignity of a man nor wept cowardly.
原因非常简单，马健先生还活着，而且是我看到了过去的所谓的共产党的高官，在被审判当中，少有的几个人像马健部长，没有失去男人的尊严，也没有流下虚假的眼泪或者懦弱的眼泪。
As a descendant of an old communist revolution, he suffered from the Cultural Revolution as a child, and his family was divided. Then he listened to his parents and believing some people were wrong. The party is right. From Jiangxi province, he was admitted to Southwest University of the Political Science and Law in Chongqing. It is said that it was the college with the largest number of the cadres and elites in the field of political science and law in China at that time. Of course, Meng Hongwei is also his classmate. Many of the political and legal circles are his classmates. Security Secretary Chen Wenqing Minister is also his classmate. Later, Vice Minister Ma Jian went from an ordinary police officer, step by step for decades, to the level of Deputy Minister of Security. For many years, Vice Minister Ma Jian was the only one organized by the party to carry out major cases and prevent corruptions in the party in advance. That is, the latest Anti-Corruption Prevention Bureau, formerly called the Anti-Corruption Prevention, had no bureau. Mr. Ma Jian is responsible for interception, tracking, and understanding. Reported to the CBC Central Commission for Discipline Inspections and the Central Committee that Mr. Ma Jian is responsible for the establishment of major cases and special cases. When he was a section chief, he was responsible for listening, sorting out the materials, and as China's 30 years of police security's veterans cadres, he trained countless cadres. Vice Minister Ma Jian's father was also an old revolutionary. His mother was in bed for 30 years. At that time, he lived very close to Shougang, on the first floor of an apartment, equivalent to 2 bedrooms and a living room. But it was a very small, old apartment, built during the Cultural Revolution. His mother was paralyzed in bed. Vice Minister Ma Jian, as long as he is in Beijing, he will visit his mother every day and carry her out to soaking up the sun. And also he would help his mom to clean the body and accompanied his mother to have lunch. So Vice Minister Mr. Ma Jian, he is a very good cook. Vice Minister Ma Jian held out for more than 30 years until his mother passed away. When his father was left alone, Vice Minister Ma Jian cooked for his father and insisted all the time. When I met the Vice Minister Ma Jian, I went to his home, which I saw with my own eyes. Vice Minister Ma Jian was wearing the same clothes that I saw. Vice Minister Ma Jian's the soldiers I have a lot of dealing with. At that time, it was hard for me to believe that a Western world, a Chinese spy chief whom the world most wanted to know, was in charge of the anti-spy bureau and anti-intelligence bureau. And he was in charge of all the 7 and 8 bureaus. His life is so simple. With my common knowledge, I thought he pretended it's fake. After I have been dealing with him for so long, I found that Vice Minister Ma Jian, he said I was naive, and I thought he was naive too. He's really simple. If he has a billion tons of billions, he will not fall into the trap of Li You. His daughter is very young and lovely. His daughter is one of the most sincere, beautiful, and studious kids among all these leaders and officials that I have met. Vice Minister Ma Jian, I've come to the conclusion that one of the most important things that has affected me so far is that the overwhelming majority of the people in the Communist Party are good people, and they can deal with and interact with. It's not like some people say that the Communist Party is all evil. That's just like what Communist Party said, oh, the world is wrong, only the Communist Party is right. So shameless.
那就像共产党说，所有的世界上都是错的，只有共产党是对的一样那么无知。
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. The Voice of Go Media.